हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू मनु लॉ क्लासेस। मेरा नाम गौतम दीक्षित है। फ्रेंड्स, आज की वीडियो में हम मार्च 24, 2022 का डेली हिंदू एनालिसिस करेंगे। नाउ आज के जो न्यूज़ हैं वो स्टैटिक जीके पर्पज से एज वेल एज फ्रॉम द करंट अफेयर्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है। ओके, सो वी विल स्टार्ट विद द इम्पॉर्टेंट न्यूज़। सो फ्रेंड्स, पहले चलते हैं इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ की तरफ, फिर हम इस न्यूज़ पे आते हैं। नाउ फ्रेंड्स, एक जो इम्पोर्टेंट न्यूज़ आया है दैट वी विल डू फर्स्ट इज रिलेटेड टू a program of NASA's new moon mission. Okay, and now the name of this new moon mission is Artemis. Okay, so इस program का नाम है Artemis program. Now NASA is going to roll out its Artemis 1 moon mission, fine, and it is going to be launched by a very world's most powerful rocket. उस rocket का नाम होता है Space Launch System rocket. And then there will be one capsule on this rocket which is called as Orion capsule. Fine, so this is the two important factual information about the Artemis program. Now the next is facts. ये जो Artemis है, it is the name which has been derived from Greece. So Artemis, it is the name of the twin sister of Apollo, and Artemis is also known as goddess of moon. Now some special features about the Artemis program. The first is that Artemis 1 is the first of NASA's deep space exploration system. Okay, the next is, will it be crewed or uncrewed? So it will be uncrewed space mission of NASA, and it will be launched by SLS, which is considered as the most powerful rocket in the world. SLS, again I am repeating, it is called as Space Launch System rocket. Fine. Now this system of rocket, it is going to travel around 280,000 miles from the Earth over the period of 4 to 6 weeks. Then the Orion spacecraft is going to remain in space, okay, and it is not going to dock on any other space station. Now, what is the purpose of this Artemis program? Now, the purpose of this Artemis program is that in future NASA wants to send humans to the moon, and that also by 2024. Now what will be the specialty of this launch? The specialty of this launch is that NASA is going to use this launch to land first woman and first person of color on the moon. Now let's see the other space agencies which are part of this Artemis program. So it is Canadian Space Agency. Okay, now it is going to provide advanced robotics for the gateway, and the European Space Agency, which is going to provide the International Habitat and E-Spirit module. Now this module is going to deliver communications capabilities. Then the third one is Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, which is also called as JAXA. It is going to contribute habitation components and logistic resupply. Now some of the technology which will be employed by this program. So if you will just see that the spacecraft is going to deploy the interim cryogenic propulsion stage. Okay, now what is this interim cryogenic propulsion stage, which is also ICPS? So it is a combination of liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen based propulsion system. Okay, and it is going to give Orion the thrust needed so that it can leave the Earth's orbit and it travel towards the moon. Okay, basically ये fuels हैं. Now this rocket is going to fly around 100 km above the surface of the moon, and it is going to use its gravitational pull to propel Orion into a opposite deep orbit around 70,000 km from the moon. तो ये जो spacecraft type चीज है Orion, okay, Orion capsule, it is going to be 70,000 km above the surface of the moon. Now this will enable NASA to collect data and to allow mission controllers to assess the performance of the spacecraft. Now when Orion will re-enter the atmosphere, okay, it will do so, okay, which is called as close flyby, which is less than 100 km of moon's surface. Now the next is the future missions in the Artemis program. तो पहला तो हमने देख लिया Artemis 1, it is sending Orion capsule about 70,000 kilometers above the surface of the moon. Okay, the next will be the learnings will be utilized to send first astronauts to Mars. Now friends, आपके लिए क्वेश्चन है कि इंडिया का भी एक लूनार मिशन है. Okay, so what is the name of that lunar mission of India? Please write me in the comment box. The next is मेकेदातु वाटर प्रोजेक्ट. सो मेकेदातु वाटर प्रोजेक्ट जो है ये कर्नाटका गवर्नमेंट इसको कंस्ट्रक्ट कर रही है. इट हैज़ ऑलरेडी सेंड द प्रपोजल टू कावेरी मैनेजमेंट रिवर मैनेजमेंट बोर्ड, बट तमिलनाडु इज अपोजिंग इट. Okay, so Tamil Nadu is in the opposition of this Mekadatu river project and Karnataka is building it. Now this Mekadatu water project is going to come up on the river Kaveri. Okay, and now why Karnataka is going on with this project? So what is the aim of this Mekadatu water project? The aim is to provide drinking water supply, to capital city of Bangalore, Okay, now if you will just see that history of this project. So here that originally this project was mooted in 1948 as a drinking water project cum power generation project across the river Kaveri. Now what happened was that there was a Kaveri river water dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and then this project could not move forward. Finally in 2013 Kaveri Water Dispute Tribunal award was notified. Okay, and it allocated the river water to the riparian states of both Karnataka, then Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Kerala. Okay, after that what happened was that a pre-feasibility study was submitted in 2018. Okay, and it was submitted to Central Water Commission. Then what is happening now is that the rupees 9,000 crore balancing reservoir was going to come up at Mekadatu. Fine. Now what is the second important thing about this project is that it is going to impound का मतलब होता है पानी को रोकना. It is going to impound about 67.15 trillion meter cube, 1000 million cubic feet of water. Now if we are impounding this much of water, it is definitely going to submerge certain area. So it is going to submerge an area which is very important from the point of view of biodiversity. It is Kaveri Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, then coming to 2018, in 2018 the Supreme Court judgment, it gave additional 4.75 thousand million cubic feet of water to Bangalore for consumptive purpose. Now in view of this judgment, the Karnataka is going ahead with building this project. Now friends, let's have a news related to midday meal scheme. So we already know that midday meal scheme is now renamed as PM Poshan scheme. It has been renamed as PM Poshan scheme, and this scheme has been extended to pre-primary classes also. Okay, earlier this scheme was from class 1 to 8. Now PM Poshan scheme, one of the important objective of PM Poshan scheme is to fight hunger, undernutrition, as well as to motivate the students to join school. Okay, so over here this is one of the best program to fight hunger, malnutrition, and also to increase the enrollment in government schools. Now if you will just see that how many numbers of children were getting food under this program. Okay, so we will see that about 116 million children, okay, were part of this program when there was COVID-19 lockdown and closure of school. So this much number of students started going hungry. Okay, so now we need to start the schools and start this scheme very early if we want to fight the hunger and malnutrition. Why? Because if we consider certain reports and index, so India's status in that report is little dismal. So if you will just see the state of food security and nutrition in the world 2020 report, which was released by Food and Agriculture Organization. Now it is saying that the COVID-19 has had a very great impact on school and school meals. Okay, about 369 million children globally were losing out on school meals, and bulk of them are in India. As we can see, the number is 116 million children in India. अगर हम ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स की बात करें 2020 का, द ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स विच इज़ रिलीज बाय वेल्थ हेल्थ हंगर एंड कंसर्न वर्ल्ड वाइड, वहाँ पे इंडिया का रैंक जो है इट इज़ 94 आउट ऑफ 107 कंट्रीज, और जो स्टेटस है इंडिया का कैटेगरी है ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स में, इट इज़ सीरियस टाइप ऑफ हंगर. सेकेंड थिंग इज दैट इन ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स इंडिया इज बिहाइंड इट्स नेबर, that is Pakistan, Bangladesh and Nepal. Now if we will just see that what are the components of global hunger index, so it is undernutrition, wasting, stunting and mortality in children below 5 years of age. Now what are the important points of midday meal scheme? So a midday meal scheme in India, according to the midday meal scheme rules guidelines 2006, that midday meal scheme in India should provide 450 kilocalorie of energy, 12 grams of proteins, okay, and adequate quantities of micronutrients like iron, folic acid, vitamin A, etc. Now इफ़ यू विल जस्ट सी किचन गार्डन. नाउ जैसे कि यहाँ पे हम देखेंगे जो स्कीम का जो नाम बदला गया था और ये इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था प्री प्राइमरी क्लासेस में, इसके अंदर कुछ और चीज़ें ऐड हुई हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल इसके अंदर मिल्क, एग, वेजिटेबल्स, ओके, दिस हैज़ बीन एडेड ओवर हियर. द सेकेंड इज देयर इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ किचन गार्डन, ओके, विच इज़ कॉल्ड ए स्कूल न्यूट्रिशन किचन गार्डन, विच विल बी गोइंग टू produce fresh vegetables for midday meal scheme. Now the Union Health Ministry has released a new norms for imposing curbs related to COVID-19. अगर हम देखेंगे कि जो TPR है अगर वो 10% से ज़्यादा है, ठीक है ना, the infection rate is more than 10%, then it is a ground for imposing restrictions. Okay, so if such areas who will be identified and the curbs will be imposed in those areas. Then if we will just see the test positivity rate अगर होगा तो अगर वो क्या है क्राइटेरिया, अगर टेस्ट पॉजिटिविटी रेट 10% से ज़्यादा है, या इफ़ द ऑक्यूपेंसी ऑफ बेड इज़ मोर देन 40% विच इज़ आइदर सपोर्टेड बाय ऑक्सीजन और ICU बेड्स, okay, then the restrictions will be imposed in that area. Now why such guidelines have come, okay, in spite of decline in cases? So we can see that in European countries and Southeast Asian countries there is currently surge in COVID-19 cases, okay, mainly because of BA.2. Now BA.2, what is BA.2? It is a sub-variant of Omicron. In India, in the month of December and January, the surge in COVID-19 cases was related to BA.2 variant of Omicron. The next is our Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Singla. He has called for alignment between United Nations and LAS. So now what is this LAS? So the LAS is League of Arab Nations, okay, or League of Arab States. So this League of Arab States, there are currently 22 members in League of Arab States. Syria was earlier the member of League of Arab States, but it was suspended in 2011. Now if you see about India, so India, it has a observer status, in League of Arab States. The headquarters of League of Arab States is in Cairo in Egypt, and it was founded in the year 1945. Okay, so over here Shringla calls for more alignment between UN and LAS. Now why he is calling that? Because for the coming month now United Arab Emirates is going to chair the United Nations Security Council. The next important news is about एबल प्राइज. तो फ्रेंड्स जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि एक होता है नोबल प्राइज. नोबल प्राइज जो है वो फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, मेडिकल साइंस, पीस, लिटरेचर में मिलता है. और एक नया कैटेगरी जो है उसको हम कहते हैं इकोनॉमिक साइंस. वाई आई एम सेइंग इकोनॉमिक साइंस? बिकॉज इकोनॉमिक साइंस वाज not the part of original Nobel Prize. It was instituted late in 1960s. Okay, it is also called as Severigis Riksbank Prize. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखेंगे तो मैथ्स नहीं है, ठीक है ना. मैथ्स के लिए जो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट प्राइज है वो दो हैं खास करके. एक तो होता है एबल प्राइज, द नेक्स्ट इज फिल्ड्स मेडल. नाउ if you will just see Abel Prize for the year 2022, it has been awarded to the American mathematician. The name is Dennis P. Sullivan. Now Dennis P. Sullivan, he is a mathematician and he has made groundbreaking contributions to topology. Okay, now Dennis Sullivan, he is associated with Graduate School and University Center of City University of New York and the State University of New York at Stony Brook. Now if you will just see that what is topology. So topology is a branch of mathematics which was founded in 19th century, and it studies the properties of surfaces that do not change when they are deformed. Okay, so there are certain properties of surfaces which are not going to change even they are deformed or even their shape changes. Okay, take some of the examples that topologically circle and square are the same. Okay, fine. Then similarly if you will see the donut and the coffee mug are again same, but if you will just see the surface of sphere and coffee mug are not equivalent in topology. The next is Madeleine Albright passes away. So Madeleine Albright, who fled the Nazi when she was a child, and she was from Czechoslovakia. So she fled the Nazi camp during Second World War and she became the first woman Secretary of State. Okay, she had passed away in USA. The next is PLI share in key sector capex set to be 13 to 15%. Now यहाँ पे we are talking about production linked incentive scheme. Okay, तो यहाँ पे जो production linked incentive scheme है, this was a scheme launched by the ministry, by the government to promote domestic manufacturing in India and also to make India a export hub. तो अगर हम देखेंगे यहाँ पे तो एक क्रिजिल का एक रिपोर्ट है which says कि जो प्रोडक्शन लिंक इंसेंटिव स्कीम है, अगर हम देखेंगे तो जितना इन्वेस्टमेंट होने वाला है इन इम्पॉर्टेंट इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर, उसमें से 13 to 15% विल बी अंडर द PLI scheme. It means that this news tells the success of PLI scheme. Now this PLI scheme, it was launched in March 2020 and now it has been announced for 15 sectors. Okay, and the government is providing the incentive of rupees 1.93 lakh crore under the PLI scheme. The next is about Ashleigh Barty. She is a tennis player from Australia. If we will just see that she is first among many. So Barty, she is the 5th woman in Women Tennis Association history who has finished 3 straight years as number one tennis player. Earlier they were the 4 are Evert, Navratilova, Steffi Graf and Serena Williams. Then she is one of the 6 women in open era to win the first 3 slam finals, means Grand Slam finals. ओके, मीन्स जो उन्होंने पहला 3 ग्रैंड स्लैम फाइनल फेस किया था वो तीनों इन्होंने जीता है. ओके, देन शी इज अमंग द फर्स्ट 9 वुमेन हु हैव एटलीस्ट 1 सिंगल स्लैम टाइटल ऑन एवरी सरफेस इन द ओपन एरा. ओके, Now if we will just see about the Grand Slam tennis tournament, so Grand Slam में there are 4 tennis tournaments which are called as Grand Slam. So it is Australian Open, okay, Australian Open, it is played in January. Then it is French Open, then Wimbledon, and then we have US Open. Okay, we have US Open. Among this, if we will see that US and Australian Open, they are played on hard courts. इनको hard court tennis भी कहते हैं, hard court. French Open, it is played on clay ground, and Wimbledon on grass ground. Okay, fine. Recently Ash Barty के बारे में एक और चीज़ भी important है, that after 44 years she became the first Australian woman to win Australian Open. Okay, and now at the age of 25 she has announced her retirement from tennis because of fatigue and lack of motivation. Now friends, from editorial, let's read this editorial. So tracking the persistent growth of China. So over here the talk is going about, this topic is exactly related with industrialization 4.0. So let's first understand what is industrialization 4.0. So industrialization 4.0 means AI and machine learning, application of artificial intelligence and machine learning in industrial process. Okay, and now China is leveraging AI and machine learning to improve its productivity in manufacturing sector and to maintain its dominance in the manufacturing sector throughout. Okay, now why this is important? This is important because if you will see China, so there was a talk going on in 2020-21 that because of geopolitical tensions and trade war, the factories will start moving out of China, because China is considered as the world's factory. And if we will just see that around $4 trillion worth of manufacturing is currently happening in China, this is which is much more than the GDP of India. So there were talks going on that many manufacturing companies may come out of China and they will start relocating to other favorable destinations in Asia and other parts of the world. Okay, अगर हम चाइना की बात करें तो what is the contribution of manufacturing, global manufacturing, चाइना का क्या contribution है? So see, China accounts for about 30% of the global manufacturing. ठीक है ना, एंड ये बराबर है 3 कंट्रीज के, इट इज इक्वल टू दैट ऑफ यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स, जापान, जर्मनी पुट टुगेदर. ओके, देन चाइना कंट्रीब्यूट्स 13% ऑफ वर्ल्ड एक्सपोर्ट्स एंड 18% ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कैपिटल मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन. ओके, now if you will just see that currently because of COVID-19 disruptions, lockdowns and disruption in supply chain, when other countries are suffering, okay, China is not suffering through it. Why? Because China is following the idea of dual circulation. अब dual circulation क्या है? Dual circulation के 2 पार्ट हैं, एक internal circulation, एक external circulation. So let's understand this. If you talk about dual circulation, okay, so एक है internal circulation और एक है external circulation. Simply ये बोला जा रहा है कि चाइना जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा अपने डोमेस्टिक डिमांड पे रिलाई करने वाला है टू इम्प्रूव इट्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर. ओके, चाइना इज़ गोइंग टू रिलाई मोर ऑन डोमेस्टिक डिमांड, एंड जो एक्सटर्नल डिमांड होता है मतलब एक्सपोर्ट रिलेटेड, ये चाइना जो है सिर्फ नॉमिनली इसके ऊपर डिपेंड होने वाला है. ओके, इट मीन्स नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ दिस डिसरप्शन इन ग्लोबल मार्केट, सो नाउ चाइना इज़ फोकसिंग ऑन इट्स domestic demand and cutting its reliance on external demand to propel its manufacturing sector. Now see, one of the challenges to China's manufacturing was the aging in China. China का एक challenge है कि जो ट्रेडिशनल चाइनीज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्रीज है, दे आर सफरिंग बिकॉज ऑफ राइजिंग लेबर कॉस्ट, while okay, and due to demographic changes, because China is population of China is getting older. Okay, so now how China is overcoming this problem? China is applying artificial intelligence as an alternative to reduce operational cost and enhance the efficiency of its manufacturing process. Now this application of AI or machine learning itself is called as fourth industrial revolution. नाउ फ्रेंड्स, कमिंग टू द फर्स्ट पेज, यहाँ पे जो न्यूज़ है, इट इज़ अबाउट द मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट. ओके, देयर इज़ वन कॉन्सेप्ट कॉल्ड एज बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड. तो हमारा देखिए मर्चेंडाइज ट्रेड जो है, एक्सपोर्ट जो है, इट इज़ हैज़ क्रॉस्ड द $400 बिलियन एनुअल टारगेट. फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इंडिया हैज़ क्रॉस्ड दिस $400 बिलियन टारगेट ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट्स. ओके, बट दैट डजंट मीन कि हमारा जो बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड है, इट हैज़ बिकम फेवरेबल. नो, our import is still very high, but still our exports has achieved this target of $400 billion. now अगर हम सेक्टर्स देखेंगे जिसमें इंडिया बहुत अच्छा करता है इन एक्सपोर्ट, so these sectors are engineering products, apparel and garments, gems and jewelry and petroleum products. ठीक है, हम क्रूड ऑयल को इंपोर्ट करते हैं, बट पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स या रिफाइंड पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स को हम बाहर एक्सपोर्ट भी करते हैं. ओके, नाउ सी what is the importance of this 400 billion mark? The importance is that India has achieved this $400 billion export target in spite of disruption in global supply chain, increase in global commodity prices, COVID-19 lockdown, etc., and then Russia-Ukraine crisis. In spite of that, India has achieved this phenomenal feat in the economic sector. Now this export is going to help India to expedite its vision under Atmanirbhar Bharat, where export is going to play a very important role to achieve the target of making India $5 trillion economy. Now the next effort will be that such huge growth in export is definitely going to help India in their ongoing trade negotiations, which is called as free trade agreement, which India is now negotiating with Australia, Israel, Canada, South Korea, etc. The next is related to COVID. So now the Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla, he has informed the state's government that under the Disaster Management Act 2005, the provisions related to containment zones will now not be invoked, but use of mask, hand hygiene is going to be continued. Okay. So friends, that's all for today. We will meet tomorrow again with the daily Hindu analysis. Till then, have a nice time. Take care. Thank you.